The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to the party. Teresa French, welcome to the party.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready for you and me to reenact that famous scene from Jerry Maguire? Help me, help you, help me, help you. It was more than about the money when you started. It was more than about the money when you started, right?
Yeah.
Friends, classic scene from cinema trivia. Do not get Teresa French and me started on movie scenes because we'll be here all day just doing that.
It is quite an entertaining. Maybe we should just do a Facebook Live of that, David.
I think we should.
All concepts of speaking.
We got to do Jerry Maguire. We got to do A Few Good Men. We got to do all your favorites.
All the favorites. Well, it's great to be here with you, my friend. I'm looking forward. There's nothing better than getting booked.
There really isn't. There really isn't. And let's just do our usual AV check. Make sure people are out there in webinar land, that you guys can hear us and see us okay. You should be looking at the title slide right now that says, Help Me Hire You, 21 Strategies to Get Booked and Stay Booked. Hopefully you can hear the amazing Teresa. You can hear me loud and clear. If anybody has a problem hearing me loud and clear, you should get your hearing checked because, we got a thunder boomer happening over here. But just type in the question box there if we're coming across loud and clear. So, good. Okay. Joe and Tim and Matt and Mike and Paula, Jody, Christine, Marcia, Art, David, Annie, Deborah. Fantastic. All right, well, let's jump right in, shall we? As they say, without further ado. No ado, we're not doing. We're going to get right down to business. All right. So here is the problem that I see a lot of speakers and experts and trainers have. The problem is Chinese menu syndrome. And let me tell you the story of how I came to know all of this and why this actual entire webinar came to be. So as some of you know, I've been speaking and consulting and training since 1992. Worked for big technology consulting firms, management consulting firms, went out on my own as an entrepreneur January 1st of 2002 and made every mistake in the book. And this was one of my mistakes. It's called Chinese menu syndrome. And what happened is I struggled and fumbled and hit every brick wall and every dead end as a speaker and coach and trainer. And then I had the opportunity to sit in the buyer's chair. So about 12 years ago, I took on an assignment for a small media and publishing company who's still thriving, still doing very well. It's called Business 21 Publishing, and one of their market-facing brands is also the Rapid Learning Institute. I was their VP of Program Development. And what that meant was I was in the buyer's chair. I hired and booked speakers for teleconferences, webinars, live events. I actually got that company into the live event business. We did HR summits. We did all kinds of events. We had events in Chicago and Los Angeles and New York and here in suburban Philadelphia where the company was headquartered. So over the course of about 11 months, I was responsible, underline the word responsible for hiring over 160 different speakers, coaches, trainers, employment law attorneys, various different kinds of experts in 4 different subject areas. We had an entire vertical market for human resources. We had another entire vertical market for finance. So CFOs, controllers, accounting people like that. We had a third one for safety, workplace safety, and we had a fourth one for sales. So sales trainers, sales coaches, sales consultants. These were the 4 buckets of people that I hired into. Now, when I went to your website, when I got your first email, when I saw you on LinkedIn, and I see that you do leadership, sales, marketing, trust building, customer service, presentation skills, communication skills, basket weaving, boat building, every possible topic. That's what we're talking about with this first problem of Chinese menu syndrome. Because what I wanted to see, and what every buyer wants to see, and the entire rest of our time together, guys, is going to be from the buyer's side of the table. From the buyer's side of the table, and coming out of this experience, what I learned and how I helped my business take off from like 0 to 100 miles an hour. And then since that time, over the last 12 years, how I've helped over 550 other speakers, experts, coaches, consultants to do the same. But we're talking about all of this from the buyer's side of the table. Buyers want to see expertise, and they want to see articulated expertise. So, in other words, imagine that you're a Chinese restaurant. The problem with most Chinese restaurants is everything is on the menu and nothing is particularly good. Your favorite Chinese restaurant, on the other hand, when you sit down, you open that menu, your menu does not look overwhelming. You're going to zero in on those 1 or 2 special dishes. So this restaurant, let's say it's House of Hunan, when you recommend your best friend, say, oh man, you love Chinese food, you got to go to House of Hunan. They are awesome. They're amazing. You're not just going to tell them to go to House of Hunan. You're going to tell them to go to that restaurant, and you have to get the crystal shrimp because it's their house specialty. It's amazing. It's the best crystal shrimp you will ever eat. In fact, you love the crystal shrimp at this restaurant so much that if you weren't hungry for crystal shrimp, you would probably go to a different Chinese restaurant. So my challenge for you guys right now, right here, make a decision. What is going to be circled on your menu? What's going to be that one thing that people come to you for, that you are going to get known for, that you are even going to get perhaps famous for, that it's the best in the world at what you do, and that everything else can fall away. All the noise, all the foreground, background confusion, all the 17 different topics on your website right now, all the generalization can convert to specialization, because specialists win on value, and we'll talk about value later in the workshop today. Specialists win on value, generalists die on price. Write that one down somewhere. Teresa,
you might
that's
have
a pretty
to
good
repeat
one.
that one. Yeah, that makes me want to say Mufasa.
People like, the pens are flying as we speak, right? Specialists win on value, generalists die on price. So let's dig in to how you can operationalize that. Strategy number 2 out of our 21 strategies to help you get booked and stay booked. Once you decide who you are, you have to label yourself. Here's another soundbite, my friends. All of our buyers, association meeting planners, corporate meeting planners, conference producers. I was an independent conference producer. I ran a $2.5 million line of business for a $6 million company. So I was responsible for almost 50% of their revenue. I reported right to my CEO, who sat down the hall from me. If we had a live event that had a speaker who was a dud, guess where I got called into? If we even did a teleconference or an audio conference or webinar where that speaker was a dud, and we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on these virtual events, and we had a couple hundred people come to each live event, and they paid significant money to be there. If I screwed up on the speaker selection, I knew I was going to get in trouble. So here's another soundbite for you guys. Our buyers are lazy, busy, and befuddled, and they don't go for the best choice, they go for the safest choice. Write that one down, please. You do not want to spend a lot of time spinning your wheels and burning rubber on making the case that you are the best choice. It's really hard to be the best choice. You can be the most specialized choice, or the most distinct choice, or the most valuable choice, right? If you're those things, then you're also the safest choice. So I see so many speakers and consultants and authors who refuse to label themselves because they say, well, David, I don't want to put myself in a box. My friends, I have news for you. Buyers buy boxes. So not only do I want to put you in a box, I want you to stay in the box because that's what the buyers are spending money on. So if you're a sales guy or gal, I want to see sales plastered over everything. I want to see the clear label because the buyers, me in this case, I got to admit, and maybe you're this way as a buyer too, you're lazy, you're busy, you're befuddled. You don't have time to figure it out. You don't have time to work through 5 different web pages and 3 different PDFs to figure out, what does this person really do? What's this person really about? What problems does this person really solve? Right? Sales is sales. Leadership is leadership. You're an IT security guy. IT security. Here's the test. It's the CNN test. If you have the privilege of being on CNN, they put the blue bar at the bottom of the screen, they put your name, and they give you 2 or 3 words. Imagine Kevin Johnson's mom. He's on global television, and his moniker is hacker. Right? He's a hacker. He could be an IT security expert. That might be better. When I'm on CNN, it's speaker marketing expert. Period. Speaker marketing expert. Not boat building, not leadership, not sales, not customer service. My buddy Robert Bradford, very smart strategic planning speaker. He says, you know those speakers that have a lot of commas in what they do? Leadership, sales, customer service, team building, presentation skills, communication skills. Here's what I found, says Robert Bradford. So don't blame me for this one, blame Robert. Every comma means that you suck just a little bit more. So no commas, my friends, no commas. I'm going to ask you right now in the question box to make this decision, make this declaration. What's the label that you want to be hired under? What's the label that's going to be hitting in between the eyes in 2 seconds on your website? Let's hear who's on the call. Let's hear who's who. I want you to type in the question box. I'm all about leadership. I'm all about sales. I'm all about women's empowerment. I'm all about parenting. I'm all about personal finance. I'm all about marketing. I'm all about social media. What are you all about? 3-word maximum, CNN test. You guys are taking the CNN test with Teresa and with me right here, right now. Teresa, who are our CNN stars? And what's going under their banner on CNN?
Judy says she is a spirit sage. David says he's a healthy sales. Oh, they're whizzing by. Let me stop them here. Katie says she's a leadership for women. Pete says, I'm a personal safety expert. Louise says employment lawyer. David says integrity. Brian Dimer, the power of perceptions. Fritz says he's a project manager. Matt says he's purveyor of hope. Wow, we've got quite a few here. Annie says she is a colostomy patient advocate. Bob says he's a brain performance expert. Let's see here. David is a global leadership expert. Marsh is a client experience expert. Nice. Tom is a presentation guru. Terry says she's a business success expert.
And
Sean
Bob
says make more money.
To you, buddy. Bob is a buddy and a client. Industrial online marketing. Boom. Clear, succinct, to the point. Tim is business influence expert. Great to see you here, my friend. Sean helps people make more money. He's a make more money expert. Stephanie talks about mental fitness, and there's more and more. Great. As long as you guys make that decision, and then that decision, that can go on your website this afternoon. In fact, please make that a to-do item. Put that on your website this afternoon. Put that as your LinkedIn professional headline this afternoon. Make this a public acknowledgement that you have chosen an expertise and you are labeling everything under that to attract the right kinds of clients who have that exact problem, who will value it more highly, who need it more desperately, and who will book you, rebook you, and refer you because finally you got some clarity on who you are and what you do. Awesome job. Now, once you've done that, let's take this to the 3rd level. There's a ton of leadership speakers. I got bad news. There's a ton of women's empowerment speakers. There's a ton of personal finance speakers. If you look like, sound like, pardon me, if you look like, I'm getting excited now. Look like, sound like, and present yourself like every other one of them, you're going to be commoditized. So even people that have labeled themselves risk commodity status. And here's the word you want to avoid. The word is, oh, another. Oh, it's another customer service guy. Oh, it's another leadership lady. Oh, it's another marketing guy. Yeah, I've seen this before. Looks the same, sounds the same, tastes the same. Not interested. So my litmus test for strategy number 3, who are you disturbing? Who are you pissing off? Who are you professionally irritating? So let's look at a couple of good examples of professional irritants. Our friend Larry Winget is known as the pit bull of personal development. He first came to fame with a book and a keynote called Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. Not exactly your usual feel-good, positive, motivational speaker. So put in the chat box, do you think that there are companies and associations and groups and conventions that wouldn't touch Larry with a 10-foot pole? Are there people that Larry actually repels by having book titles like You're Broke Because You Want to Be, and it's called Work for a Reason? He has another one that's not pictured here called Your Kids Are Your Own Damn Fault. Do you think that he's turning some people off and that some associations, some meetings, some groups would never, ever, ever hire a Larry Winget? True or false? So yeah, there we go. No doubt. Sure. Large corporate, politically correct. Sure, says Lou Lessig. Hey, Rick, great to see you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So here's the soundbite, my friends. If you don't risk turning some people off, you're never going to turn anybody on. I'll give you another example. My friend Gary Markle from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a performance management expert. He believes the performance review process is broken. He is not going to help you fix your performance review process. He's not going to help you fix your performance review form. He's got a book and a program called No More Performance Evaluations, and he has a much better alternative called Catalytic Coaching, the end of the performance review. Gary's a former Fortune 500 HR executive, VP of HR, very successful, high-level guy. He has also sat in his buyer's chair. Do you think some companies would never, ever, ever give up their performance review process? Oh, we love our process. We love our performance review forms. No, Gary Markle, don't take those away. Don't shred our forms, even though every manager hates doing them and every employee hates getting them. We are keeping the form because we are old school and we are not going to give up. Here's my question for you, my friends. Who are you disturbing? Who are you a professional irritant for? Who would never, ever, ever hire you? Who would never, ever, ever hire you based on what you stand for, what you believe, your opinions, your recommendations, your slant on the world? Here's another soundbite, my friends. The world does not need more information from motivational speakers, consultants, coaches, or authors. Information is at our fingertips. What they're hungry for and what they will hire you for is your insights and your opinions and your recommendations and your perspective. So let's do another question box. Are you currently, in your speaking, coaching, or consulting or training business, are you sharing more than information? Are you sharing your personal opinion, your bias, your slant, your recommendations, your perspectives? Are you doing that, yes or no? And I'd love to hear some yeses. And if you're not doing that right now, think about some ways you can start to do it. Because information-only speakers are going to be extinct. I'm going to say they're extinct already. They're just like the Walking Dead, and they don't know it. So you need to add your perspective, your opinion, your slant, your recommendations. Opinions matter. Advice matters. Regurgitating same-o, lame-o information, no value. Liz Boston, totally, my friend. You are all over this, and I love that. So Liz is a great client of ours. Greg says it's even way more fun. It's way more fun doing it that way. Yes, yes, yes. And Mark is another client. He says yes, and Wells Fargo is never going to hire David Newman. That is certainly true. Because I rant and rave against their ethical practices all the time. So good. Now let's talk about what do you get when you've done these first few strategies around clarity. Lisa Hain came through our program. She did not have the clarity coming in of why she's hired, why it's special, why it's different, what's the angle, what's the distinction, what's her opinion, what's her perspective. She looked like, sounded like, and acted like every other safety speaker. She says, within my first 2 weeks in the program, I used your material to close a speaking engagement for $5,000. It's not easy for me to express my value. That's one of the reasons I bought your program. I used your exact coaching and tools to sway the client to choose me when their board voted on a keynote speaker today. I knew I needed help with sealing the deal once I had the client on the line. I now know how to do this with every prospect going forward. And this is one of my favorite success stories out of all the dozens and dozens and dozens that we use and share on these webinars, because this is about clarity. This is about Lisa putting herself in the box, articulation, distinction, and client-first value proposition, and Lisa being 100% Lisa, not hiding behind what she thought the client wanted, not hiding behind what she thought the prospect wanted to hear, but saying what she needed to be said to stand out from the pack, get hired, get rehired, get referred, get recommended. In other words, she's now the safety speaker who is not going to be forgettable. She is not going to be forgettable because she stepped into the full opinion, recommendation, what's right with the world, what's wrong with the world kind of standing. All right, number 4. Niche, 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 niche. Let me walk you through a 4-level niching exercise here. You can decide that you're a sales speaker, and that's great, and that's a level 1 niche. You can also say, I want to take a certain aspect or a certain phase of that process, like the first phase is prospecting. So now you're a sales prospecting speaker, level 2 niche. Level 3, sales prospecting using the phone. We're not going to use LinkedIn. We're not going to use the internet. We're not going to do door hangers. We're not going to do robocalling. We're going to be human to human sales reps on the phone, sales prospecting on the phone, level 3. Level 4 niche is sales prospecting by phone in the financial services industry. Now, if I'm a big bank, I'm Merrill Lynch, I'm Bank of America, I'm some big investment house, stock brokerage, and I've got tens of thousands of people doing prospecting by phone, selling stocks, bonds, banking, insurance. Which one of these 4 experts is going to command the premium pricing? Is it going to be the generic sales expert? Is it going to be the sales prospecting expert? Is it going to be the guy or gal that does sales prospecting using the telephone? Or is it going to be the sales prospecting by phone expert who specializes all day, every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in financial services? And you guys know the answer. It is sales prospecting by phone in financial services, right? It's the last one. Now, if you're not comfortable doing that or that doesn't fit your particular topic, that is A-okay. We talk to our clients, we talk to folks all the time about different ways to slice and dice the niche. You can niche by audience, you can niche by industry. So if you came out of the construction industry, you speak to construction. You came out of the banking industry, you speak to banking. You can niche by level. You can say, I only talk to CEOs. On the other hand, I only talk to high school students. On the other hand, somewhere in the middle, I only talk to frontline managers. You can niche by method, you can niche by media. There's lots of different ways to slice and dice this. What's the only wrong way? Pop quiz in the question box. What's the only wrong way to do this niching in your own speaking-driven business? What do you guys think?
Oh, we've got some smart people, David.
You guys, they're always 2 steps ahead of me. They're always 2 steps ahead of me. Yeah, so Fritz got it, Annie got it, Stephanie got it, exactly right. No niche, and Deanne got it, right? Niche to anyone, which means niching to no one. And Marcia got it, not to niche as well. Beautiful.
Well done.
Now, here's the key to this. We have to learn to say no. And when you learn to say no, it's very simple. Here's the script. I'm gonna give it to you right now. You know, that's really not my topic. I'm probably not the best guy or gal to do that program for you. And then rather than simply hang up the phone, what you're going to do is you're going to give a referral to someone that you know or someone that you like or someone that you recommend. Here's the secret, my friends. The narrower your focus, the more referable you become. So we always say, hey, you want to get some referrals? Give some referrals. But you're not going to give a referral to a generalist speaker who you might see as your competition. Whereas a sales speaker will always be happy to give a referral to a marketing speaker. And a marketing speaker will always be happy to give a referral to a sales speaker. And a customer service speaker will always be happy to give a referral to a team building speaker. And a team building speaker will always be happy to give a referral to a presentation skills speaker. We have the biggest possible opportunity to get booked and rebooked. It's not hiring a salesperson. That's a very popular myth that almost never works out. It's not connecting with a speakers bureau, another popular myth that most people are not ready for. And when you are ready for it, you no longer need them. The most viable, immediate opportunity that is sitting right under your nose right now is connecting with other speakers who you can refer and recommend and who will refer and recommend you. In our program, we call this your referral posse. It is a tightly coordinated group of 2 to 4 professionals who are non-competing, who know each other's work, and who can refer and recommend each other all day long. To prospects, to clients, to past clients, there's probably $50,000 to $100,000 of business waiting for you right now in your referral network that you are not utilizing, that you are not tapping into, and the equally sad thing is they're not tapping into you, because you could be a source of $50,000 or $70,000 or $80,000 or $100,000 to the other members of your referral posse. I hope you're taking notes on this, guys, because we're going fast and furious here. Number 6, I want to take a quick poll here. How many folks have heard the advice that you have to write a book to be taken seriously as a professional speaker or expert? You have to write a book. Even write a crappy book. Write a short book. Write a book of quotes. Write a book of garbage. Write a book that has blank pages in it. Just for God's sakes, write a book. Have you heard this advice, yes or no? And then more importantly, do you believe it? So put yes or no, and if you believe it, then type a B. If you don't believe it, type NB. Non-believer. Non-believer. Do not have to have a book on day one to go out and get $5,000 and $7,000 and $10,000 fees. So have you heard it, and do you believe it? Have you heard it, and do you believe it? Please put that in the question box.
Sounds like that information and advice runs rampant because everyone is acknowledging they've heard it.
Everyone's heard it, and we have a good number of skeptics. So I will tell you, this is not true. So even though I told you guys that I struggled in the first 3 years of my business, which is probably a huge understatement, I started hitting it about 3.5, 4 years in, and I did not write my book until 11 years in. So yes, I have a book. But, well, Newman, you've got a book. Yeah, I do have a book. Surprise, surprise. I have a book. It's a traditionally published, professionally published book from the American Management Association. It's called Do It Marketing. I highly recommend it. One of my favorite books ever. Favorite. It's on my nightstand, guys. You got to get this thing. Did I need this to start booking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 gigs back in 2005 and 6 and 7? Gosh, I sure hope not, because it didn't exist in 2005 and 6 and 7. Did I need it? Now, let me ask you a different question, though. Do I wish I'd worked on this sooner? Well, sure, for a lot of reasons. So I'll tell you what, it's a nice to have. It is absolutely not a have to have. If it's on your someday maybe list, if it's on your wish list, great. Put it in your long-term plan. Do it in 2019. Do it in 2020. Is that going to stop you from picking up a $5,000 or a $10,000 check today, tomorrow, or next week? It is not. Our clients are booking $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 deals all the time with no book and no problem. No book, no problem. Now, let's talk about the other big myth. Oh, I have to spend $15,000 on a big elaborate speaker video. If you're not ready for a speaker video, if your content, if your stage presence, if your performance is not where it needs to be, if you're not getting booked in the big stages and the big venues that have the nice lighting, the production values, the scenery, the sets, all that kind of stuff, right? The backdrops, the glossy stuff, the big IMAG screens. Here's the problem with putting bad video out into the marketplace before you are ready. The context in which the buyer sees you, I'm putting my buyer hat back on once again. This entire program is all from the buyer's chair. If the context in which they see you in your video is the context in which they set you, let me go back to an earlier point. Your buyers are lazy, busy, and befuddled. They don't have time to figure out that if you're in some seminar room, some classroom type setting with 15, 20 people that you're talking to, that you would also be great on the main stage of their big global event that has 6,000 people in the audience. If you want to get the gigs where there's 6,000 people in the audience, you better have video where there's 6,000 people in the audience. Similarly, let me flip the coin on this, because a lot of our folks are not main stage, big time keynote speakers. They're seminar leaders, they're trainers, they're workshop people, they're coaches, they're consultants. All of that is great. You can have a beautiful main stage 5,000 person audience, and they will never see you as a seminar leader. They will never see you as a workshop person. They will never see you in their boardroom leading a strategic work session for their 20 board members. Why? Same reason. The context in which they see you is the context in which they set you. No imagination here, folks. They have no imagination. They're lazy, they're busy, and they're befuddled. For that reason, no video beats a bad video. Rather than put bad video out there or pigeonhole yourself in a format that you don't want to be pigeonholed in, until the video is ready for prime time, until you have some good A-roll and B-roll, and we'll talk about what that is later if you're interested in the Q&A that we'll have going later on. Until you're ready, don't have a video. I hired a ton of people that had no video. Why? I hired them for their expertise. I hired them for what I knew they could deliver. I hired them because they had indisputable points of proof that they knew what they were talking about. They were solving this problem for other people all day, every day, and I knew they had the answers that my audience needed. I didn't need to see a video, a 3-minute little dog and pony video to hire them. I hired them for their content. And many, many people in that non-main stage, fancy, big, performance, music, perfect hair, great teeth, tell funny jokes, juggle elephants. If that's your thing, then you have to have a video. If that's your thing, you totally have to have a video. But if you're primarily a content or a business speaker, video is similar to a book. Is it important? Yes. Is it nice to have? Yes. Is it have to have on day one to get bookings? Absolutely not. And that's another piece of big misinformation that's out there. Every other speaker coach says, oh no, you got to go get the video first. I've seen so many of our clients where they got the video first and the video sucked and the video was a sales prevention tool. So rather than prove to people that you suck by putting out a bad video, don't have any video and keep them guessing. Maybe she'll be good. Maybe she'll be okay. So here's a quiz for you guys. Here's a quiz. What is truly, think about this. What's the goal of a good speaker video? There's 5 choices, A, B, C, D, E. A is to showcase my best material. B is to demonstrate strong audience reaction. C is to prove the buyer's not making a mistake. D is to share my signature story. And E is to get buyers to hire me. Which one do you think it is? A, B, C, D, or E? What's the goal of a good speaker video if you have one, when you get one, when you want to put one together? How should you put it together? How will you put out the best possible speaker video demo reel? Obviously, you have to know its purpose to do that. What do you guys think it is? Teresa, what are people saying?
Little mixture of answers. So we have Stephanie says an E, Greg is an E, Tim says C, Fritz says C. We have a couple of all of the aboves. We have a couple of E's, Marcia. We have Annie says all looks good to me. B and E, Deanna said. Deanna, sorry. Rick says C leading to E. Shirley says all of the above. Jody says E and B. Katie says E. Randy says C. Corrine says D.
All right.
Kristen, we got.
I'm going to give the right answer and then some bonus points. The right answer is actually C. It's that risk reduction strategy. I gave you the clue earlier that they don't hire the best speaker, they hire the safest speaker. So if everything else looks good, they look at the video and go, is this person going to get me in trouble? Is this person going to embarrass me? Are they really as good as I hope they're going to be? The extra credit goes to my friend Rick Maurer, who says C leading to E. C leading to E, meaning, of course, you're going to prove the buyer is not making a mistake, and that will accelerate, and that will make it safer and faster to hire you, and that C leading to E is probably the truly accurate answer. So thank you, Rick, for clarifying that distinction. Now, let's talk about a focus, because these past few items have been totally about focus. And Scott McClymonds, we worked with a few years ago, he was 100% focused on the banking and credit union industry, and specifically around bank and credit union leadership. And Scott's experience with us, he says, very excited about the results. In the pipeline are 3 paid speaking engagements at high-profile leadership conferences, a large systems project with a top 10 U.S. bank, credit union CEO mastermind groups, a year-long CEO leadership intensive with the largest state-based credit union trade association in the country. And that is all because Scott got this dialed in. He got this dialed in. Surprise, surprise, no book, no video. No book, no video. Scott is a super smart guy. He dialed in his target market with clarity, focus, and decision, a decision to bear down and focus 1,000% of his energy on money-making activity. MMA, as we call it with our mentoring clients. MMA is king, MMA is queen, MMA is in fact the whole kingdom. Money-making activity. Once you get this dialed in, imagine how easy it will be for you to focus on money-making activity where you're not spinning your wheels, you're not futzing with your topics, you're not constantly messing with your website, you're not getting distracted, going through writing, book after book after book. You're not taking the bad advice to write some crappy speaker book just for having a book. When you write a book, it's going to be an awesome book. And when you create a speaker demo video, it's going to be an awesome speaker demo video. And you're never going to put the cart before the horse because you're making money at every step along the way. You're making money at every step along the way. Nothing is put on pause. Nothing is put on hold. Teresa, we gotta share that with our clients. Nothing is put on pause. Nothing is put on hold when it comes to MMA.
Say it one more time, because that's just good. That's just gold right there. Nothing is put on hold. Nothing
is put on hold. Nothing is put on pause. While you're working on your book, while you're futzing with your website, while you're getting your demo video put together, nothing is put on pause or put on hold that gets in the way of MMA.
That's right. That's right. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes,
so let's have you guys drill down into your bookability factor. Your bookability factor is, why am I hiring you? Why am I hiring you? The mantra here is specific topics beat general topics. So think about the topic sales success secrets. That's a title, speech title, keynote, seminar, workshop. Every sales speaker under the sun could deliver some variation of that program. You want to get hyper specific. So programs like Overcoming the Stall, how to get your prospect off the dime, right? That is a huge problem. Every VP of sales, every sales manager has sales deals on their desk that are stalled. Oh, boss, we've had our 17th meeting. We've had our 5th product demo. We just can't get them to make a decision. We just can't get them to buy. We just can't get them over the finish line. That person's going to be a lot more booked than sales success secrets. Let's do another one. You might even think this one's a kind of a nice niche one. In the financial world, becoming a more effective CFO. Well, if you're a CFO, that means becoming a more effective person, becoming a more effective human being. So yes, it's aimed at a certain demographic, but think about this now. 7 CFO negotiating strategies for vendor contracts. What is every CFO's worst nightmare? Oh my God, it's time to renew our lease. It's time to get a new phone system. It's time to upgrade our computer servers. They're negotiating hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars possibly, where 1/10 of 1% or 0.5% or even 1% makes a huge difference. Could be 50, 70, 80, 100,000, could be multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, could be multiple millions of dollars, depending on the size of the contract and the size of the company. So you want to get hyper specific in your topics and your titles. Why? Because this increases your relevance. Why? Because this increases them seeing how they can use you and what exact problems you solve. Now, I'm going to give you a super crazy ninja trick right now that you can go back, you can use on your website, on your PDFs, right here, right now, this afternoon, if you want to. And it's the magic word FOR. F-O-R. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a healthcare client, very successful. She was a nurse, an RN, and a certified speaking professional, and a member of our National Speakers Association Hall of Fame. And she was a client of ours. She had a program, and the program was called Leadership Essentials. And her buyer was chief nursing officers, nursing associations. Sometimes she worked with nurse managers, but it was nursing leadership, right? Her program title, however, was generic. And the client that she'd been working with for a number of years says to her, you know, I'm going to give you the inside scoop. We love you. We love your program. We're just shopping it around. We're getting some other bids. We're going to ask you to submit something, and we need you to kind of renew your marketing materials here with us. And so we're going to, you know, we'd love to keep you, but we really need to see what else is out there in the marketplace. And my boss is really adamant about doing that. So she says, David, what do I do? I said, well, remind me the name of your program, Leadership Essentials. Remind me your target market that you spend all day, every day working in. Nurses, CNOs, chief nursing officers, nurse managers, healthcare. It's all I do. Really? Huh, interesting. Well, what if you send in your new proposal Leadership Essentials for Nurse Managers? And then you have another program, Leadership Essentials for Chief Nursing Officers. Then you have a third program called Leadership Essentials for Healthcare Leadership. She says, well, do you think that'll make a difference? I said, I know it will make all the difference. Now, not only do you change your title page, go through the proposal, go through everything that you're doing, and rather than people and staff and employees, change the words to nurses and doctors and technicians. Use their language, use their vocabulary in your proposal. So she does this. She sends the proposal. She gets back to me. She says, David, you're not going to believe this. I said, well, go ahead, try me. They renewed. They chose me over the other people. And my buyer specifically said, I love this program, Leadership Essentials for Nurse Managers. I didn't even know you had a program like this. So my friends, put the name of your prospect's industry in your title. So you have a title for the construction industry, the title for financial services managers, the title for HR, the title for women leaders. Whatever it is that you do, the magic word is for, because it literally and figuratively says, I made this for you. It is customized, it is personalized, it is tailored for your exact audience, your exact people, your exact situation. Now, another thing that you want to do is refocus on your relevancy factor. So no one's going to buy just the talk that's motivating, inspiring, touching. I laughed, I cried, I spilled soda, milk came out my nose, better than Phantom, better than Cats, I can't wait to see it again on Broadway. What they are going to buy is hard results. So start talking about results, outcomes, skills, tactics. You're going to give them conversation roadmaps. You're going to tell them exactly what to say and how to say it in any given situation when it comes to leadership, sales, customer service, team building, communications, parenting, personal finance, whatever it is. I'm going to teach you what to say and how to say it, what to do and how to do it. That becomes your value prop because that becomes immediately more relevant to them and more usable to them. Now, when a certain industry is going through some bumpy times, one of the things they will do is they will stop hiring speakers and they will start hiring problem solvers. If you want to have the now more than ever factor in your business, you are going to put the external condition that industry is going through. So a couple years ago, for example, the oil and gas industry blew up. Everybody was fine. Oil and gas imploded. Oil and gas prices were lower than ever. There was layoffs. There was an industry crisis. We had a couple of speakers and consultants who worked in oil and gas. They had leadership programs, sales programs, service programs, all kinds of things. What we advise them is put the title of the crisis in your program, right? So for example, how to get a job when no one's hiring, leadership skills for tough times, how to sell when no one's buying, right? Customer service during a recession. Whatever that is increases your relevancy factor. Easy change to make, but don't just change the title page, change the actual program. 15, 20, 25% new content that's going to help them with the current crisis that they're going through right here, right now, today. So here's a sales aha moment for you, number 11. Don't let your fee be the first number that comes up in conversation. You always want to set the context of value and the contrast of scale. What I mean by that is stop asking speaker questions and start asking business questions. So what's the average salary of the employees that you want to put through my program? And how many of them are there going to be? What's the average deal size of these salespeople? When we're talking about your customer service call center, what's a customer lifetime value, right? How much is each of these customers worth to you? And then each of these key metrics, there could be a dozen more that you decide to pick. Each of these key metrics, what would a 1%, 2%, 5%, 10% increase or decrease in these key areas really mean? Obviously, increase means the good things go up. Decrease means the bad things go down. If they don't know, right, then you're going to have to ask some questions about the opportunity cost. The best way to ask that question is, well, can you put a number? Oh my gosh, sales are terrible. Can you put a number on it? Oh my gosh, our turnover is really, really high. Well, you don't know what really, really high means. Can you put a number on it? Every number that they give you, every statement that they give you rather, put a number on it. Advanced sales ninja question for the team right here. If you keep asking, can you put a number on it? Can you put a number on it? Can you put a number on it? And they keep coming back to you going, well, I really don't know. Well, I'd have to look that up. Well, I really have no idea. Well, gosh, I wish I knew. And you start having this kind of conversation, what have you just discovered? Type that in the question box. What have you just discovered if you're having this business conversation, not a speaker conversation, not a training conversation, not a coaching and consulting conversation. You're having a business conversation with a decision maker or a buyer. What have you just found out when they don't know any of these numbers?
Deborah says that they need you. Annie says how you can help them see their own landscape. Doug says they don't own a problem they have. They don't own the problem they have. Let me say that right. Opportunity for troubleshooting. David says they won't be happy with you because they don't want what they want.
All right, let me cut to the chase because my friend Doug Bowers has the exact right answer because Doug's been a longtime client as well. He totally nailed it. They don't own the problem that you're solving. In other words, you're not talking to a real buyer because a real buyer that owns these problems would know these numbers like the back of her hand. They would immediately know what it's costing them. Manufacturing problem, turnover problem, sales problem, customer service problem. They would be conversant on the business side of the problem, not just, hey, we're looking for a speaker. So you need to rearrange your sales prospecting to talk to economic buyers and not just talk to people who are, quote unquote, hiring speakers, collecting bids, doing RFPs, and other kinds of nonsense. Yeah, and Jennifer Turnay, again, past client. You know, all the clients have the right answer. All of our fantastic clients have the right answer. You are talking to the wrong person. Exactly right, Jennifer Turnay. Great to see you here. So, number 12, change your approach. Change your approach to marketing and sales. Most importantly, change your mindset around marketing and sales. Stop thinking like a marketer or advertiser. Start thinking like a publisher and a socializer. What does a publisher do? A publisher puts out great content. What does a socializer do? A socializer invites people to parties. Our version of this is offer value. That's your publisher role. Invite engagement. Invite people to connect. Invite people to like. Invite people to subscribe. Invite people to comment. It's not always invite them to buy. You're not going to hit them over the head with a buy hammer all the time. You're going to invite them to engage. You're going to invite them to communicate. You're going to invite them to converse. And one of the key conversations you're going to invite them to is a conversation on how you can help them and how you can help them achieve their goals, how you can help them get to the destination that they want to get to. Not about pitching your services, not about pitching your product, not about pitching your crap, but about helping them with the areas where they want help. Write that one down. Your new job, scratch out marketing, scratch out sales. Your new job is helping your prospects and clients in areas where they already know they want help. So you're not convincing, you're not persuading, you're not beating them up, you're not busting down doors. One of my favorite quotes, it's hanging right here in my office right now, is Dr. Richard Carlson from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. He says, rather than bang down all these doors, focus on the doors that open when you knock. I love that so much. That is a perfect definition of marketing. Rather than bust down all these doors, focus instead on the doors that open when you knock. Notice, you still have to knock. You still have to knock, Teresa French. You can't sit in your office and you go, I wonder who's coming to the door today. No one's coming to your door until you go out to the marketplace, you knock on the doors, and you invite people to more conversations about how you can help them. Am I right or am I wrong?
Do doorbells and bullhorns count too?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Big time.
Get their attention, put yourself on their radar, and then they will listen.
Well, and here's the other thing. Number 13 is tap into the power of you-centric marketing. Tap the power of you. My friend Dan Janelle sent out this postcard, and I still literally have this hanging framed in my office. It's a New Yorker-style cartoon. You can read it right here, but I'll read it in case the type is small on the screen that you're watching on. Have you seen the latest issue of the Journal? It's all David Newman this, David Newman that, and nothing about us. Now, obviously, I was on Dan's mailing list, and he laser printed, right? There's a company that can laser print and mail merge everyone's name into the cartoon. So if Teresa French got one of these, it would say, have you seen the latest issue of the Journal? It's all Teresa French this, Teresa French that, and nothing about us. And then the back of the postcard is Dan's awesome PR lead service. So is your marketing so focused on your prospect that they would pass it around the office? They would hang it on the wall. They would keep it because it's funny, because it's you-centric. It talks about them. It makes them smile. It makes them laugh. It makes them feel good about who they are and what they want to do and their goals and their mission and their problems and their team and their employees. There's many, many ways to do this. What we see all the time is what I call me marketing. Me-centric marketing is not going to help you get booked. You-centric marketing is going to help you get booked. Case in point, as far as value, and I promise that we'll talk about value and how to distribute your value, but Tony Lucero came into our program. I got to admit, and Tony will admit this now too, he started out kind of me-centric. Me. I'm a great speaker. I'm a great guy. Here's my kids. Here's my beautiful wife. Here's my beach house. I'm very successful. Look at me. And we turned that around for him. And he says, since I've been working with David along my busy schedule, I've been creating many of the items in the program. That simple activity created a new energy in my business. And while doing all the steps just recently, a business partner contacted me. In 24 hours, I was on a jet to Salt Lake City to meet some of the owners. Long story short, I've picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. Not bad. The reason I'm telling you all this is not to boast, but in doing the activity that David outlines and focus on what I wanted to attract to my business that allowed the doors to be opened, notice the doors to be opened, stay the course, do the work, and know your target market. So Tony spent this entire conversation talking about their company, their goals, their executives, their accomplishments, their problems, their heartaches, their headaches, their stumbling blocks, their obstacles, and he booked a $32,400 gig and 90 days at $10,000 a month, another $30K for $62,400. I wrote down here at the bottom, love, love, love these results, energy and momentum, go Tony. And then Tony very kindly says, your program, David, made this possible. I will tell you, Teresa will tell you, all of our clients who are on this call will tell you, you guys get the credit. When you do this kind of work and you get this kind of success and accomplishment, we'd love to take the credit. Trust me, we would. We'd love to take the credit. You get the credit. In this case, Tony gets the credit because Tony did the work. Tony was hell-bent on offering value, inviting engagement. He was hell-bent on you-centric marketing and not me-centric marketing. He dialed this in, so he became the go-to resource that this company and this executive team needed and wanted to work with. Number 14, stop selling, filter and sort. So here's how this works, and some of you guys have seen me preach and teach about this before. I really believe that you need to run an exclusive business and make your prospects qualify for you. So the power phrase is, let me send you the application materials. And when you're doing coaching or consulting, or you have some online program, or you're doing a seminar, a live event, I recommend that you build your happy machine. It's got 3 parts. Part 1 says you need it when, and that's a symptom, a challenge, a heartache, a headache. You get is the least important part. This is the part that we all want to focus on. We all want to focus on our stuff. It's your seminar, it's your keynote, it's your program, it's your mentoring program. Why stands for yada, yada, yada. Because that's all they hear. They don't care. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. The third part of this equation, though, is vital. It's the phrase, so that you get the results, the value, the outcomes, the impact, and the emotional payoff of solving that problem. Now, how do you do this? How do you implement this on your website today, this afternoon? Powerful headline question that should be on your about page, on your services page, on your consulting page, wherever you think this fits best. Is this you? Is this you? Now, I'm going to give you an example of this, and I want you to type in the question box if you've ever said this to yourself in any phase or stage of your business. And I've even numbered them for you so you don't have to type in anything other than the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you've ever said to yourself, I love working with my clients, I just want to do a better job with marketing and sales, type in number 1 in the question box. If you've ever said to yourself any variety, any variation of, I feel like I'm the best kept secret in my industry. Clients who hire me love me, but I'm invisible to new prospects. If you've ever had that feeling, type in number 2 in the question box. Number 3 is, you know what? I'm working pretty hard. I've got plenty of clients. Why aren't I making more money? If you've ever asked yourself a variation of that question, please type in number 3. And then number 4, I'm tired of marketing by accident and settling for whatever business falls in my lap, right? That's the old reactive versus proactive. If you ever had that middle of the night thought, or if some variation of that thought has crossed your mind, please type in number 4. And I'm going somewhere with this, guys. There's a point to this. I'm going to tell you in about 30 seconds how you can create even more compelling bullets for your business. So we have some numbers coming in, Teresa.
Fast and furious. I love the engagement. We have two. Fritz, Marcia, and Bernie are all 2s. We've got Rick has said all 4. He's got them all. We got a couple more people with all four. Sandra and Mike and Annie and Bob.
Terry, Deanne, fantastic.
Yep,
I'm seeing them too. So you might think, well, David, you're like a great copywriter. You must have hired a great copywriter. You have Allison on your team as a fantastic copywriter who works with all of our clients. You know what? I didn't write a single word of this. And Allison on our team did not write a single word of this. In fact, here's the clue. Nobody on our team wrote any of this. Where do you think this language came from, and where do you think your best language is going to come from? Type that in the question box. Let's see if this group is as advanced as I think they are.
I think they're pretty smart. I think they're going to have this one. Yep. Deanna, Sandra, Fritz, Mike, clients.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So you know what? This is not about copywriting, my friends. It's about copy listening. So here's your assignment. Here's your immediate do this now action step assignment. On your homepage, on your speaking page, on your services page, on whatever page you talk about the problems that you solve, new headline, is this you? Put down 3 to 5 bullets that you have heard over and over and over and over in some variation, flavor, or form from every prospect. I'm talking about prospects that hired you and prospects that didn't. Current clients, past clients, even if you have your ear to the ground in a listening campaign, that's one of the first things that we have our clients do is a listening campaign. Figure out what's the client language that is already in circulation around the problems that you solve. A lot of our clients come up with this in a single afternoon because all they're doing is they're replaying in their mind the dozens and dozens, or in some cases hundreds, of prospecting and client and customer conversations that they've already had. And all they're doing is they're pulling out the patterns, they're pulling out the consistent themes, and this is the most powerful language that will get you booked and keep you booked, because now you're not a professional speaker, now you're a professional problem solver. Hugely, hugely important. All right, let's give you some templates here, and I'm going to give you a little shortcut to get these templates, then we'll do our Q&A, then we'll figure out some next steps for the folks that want to take a next step. So, referral template. This comes from my buddy Michael Goldberg, who's also a certified speaking professional like I am. He says, I'm looking to meet, and then you put a specific type of person in there. I'm looking to meet highly placed women leaders in the technology industry. Period, end of sentence. I'd love your advice, insights, and recommendations. And Michael calls this an asking for air conversation because AIR is the acronym for advice, insights, and recommendations. And then, once they come up with some ideas to help you, you can give them a referral blurb. A referral blurb is a pre-written email that you send when they offer to introduce you. You say, well, that's great, I'll send you the email. And the email's ready to go. All they have to do is copy, paste, and send. And then a couple other referral ideas, 3-way meetings in person, if you're local in your town, in your city. Those are great. Skype, Zoom, video, 3-way meetings are fantastic. Introduce people to each other. Be a connector. Do more net weaving and less networking. And then finally, of course, give till it hurts, give some more, and that will just come back to you in spades. Now, we're going to go through a lot of templates here. I'm not going to read to you because you don't need templates read to you. I promised you guys that everyone who shows up live is going to get big resources and handouts. Here's how to get them. Either on your computer or on your smartphone, go to kiwilive.com, and let's type that in the chat. Morgan, if you don't mind typing that into the chat so we get a hot link for kiwilive.com, that would be great. Or Teresa, you can do it too. Here is what you're getting in that download. So Kiwi Live is going to ask you for a keyword. My keyword is do it. D-O-I-T. D-O-I-T. Do it. All one word, no space, no punctuation. because you guys showed up, you're going to get a copy of the Marketing Language Bank workbook that will help you capture some of this client language that we just talked about. You will get this full slide deck, including the scripts and templates and tools I'm about to share with you. So we're going to kind of power through that because I'm not going to read the templates to you. You're getting them from this Kiwi Live link. You are getting my Do It Marketing Manifesto PDF, and you are getting the fully produced professional commercial version of this product, studio recording, PDF, transcripts, notes, that help me hire you, full $47 product in MP3 and PDF format with a workbook and with transcripts and all kinds of fun things. That should keep you busy. That should keep you busy for maybe the rest of this afternoon. And it's going to help you implement some of these things that we talked about on your website, on your sales page, on your speaker page, on your about page. And that's my gift to you guys for showing up. People who show up win. People who slack off do not. So you're getting the LinkedIn template, the email template, the phone call template. And again, because you guys can read templates, I'm not going to waste your time doing it now. Either on your mobile phone or on the computer, open up a fresh tab, go to kiwilive.com, get the workbook, get this slide deck, get the manifesto, and get the Help Me Hire You commercially available product, which is yours for free instead of paying $47, which is what it normally sells for. So that is my gift to you for being here, showing up, and being committed. Shocking truth, my friends. Point number 20, income is not optional. I don't know how to say this nicely, but income is not freaking optional. You have to make money at this business. You have to put fresh targets on your radar daily. A day without a sale is like a day without sunshine. A week without a sale is like a week without oxygen. Imagine if you were running a restaurant and you had food in the fridge, you had staff, you had a beautiful dining room, silverware, tables, tablecloths, electric bill, everything. Opening day, nobody comes into your restaurant. The waiters are looking at each other. The waiter's looking at the maitre d'. Maitre d's looking at the chef. Chef's looking at you. No idea what's going on. Restaurant's totally empty. You'd be like, okay, did our website go down? Is our signage blacked out? What happened here? On the second day of you opening this restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not a single soul walks in. By day 2, within 48 hours, you would be freaking out. You got food going bad in the fridge. You got $30,000 of rent and staff costs. You've got an empty restaurant. You have no idea what's wrong, and you'd be literally freaking out. You'd get into massive action to figure out what's wrong. You'd be walking up and down the main street of your town with sandwich boards going, eat at my restaurant, it's awesome. As a speaker, when you go a day without a sale, then a week without a sale, then a month without a sale, and then a couple months without a sale, it just seems to be okay. Because you're waiting for your pitch, or you're waiting for something, you're waiting for divine inspiration, you're waiting for them to find you, you're waiting for your phone to ring, you're waiting to be discovered. No. Making money on a daily basis, in our program we call it MMA, money-making activity is not optional. It's just not. So, let me tell you a client success story from a revenue standpoint. This is Susan Robertson. She'd been a very successful consultant, never really gotten paid any significant money at all to speak. Like a little honorarium, couple $100, rubber chicken dinner, that was it. So zero paid professional speaking experience. She gets into massive action within a couple of weeks in our program. We say, listen, Susan, just to get going, your fee is $7,500. So she asked me about, hey, what are the contract terms? Because I think I just landed one. And so in Facebook, I said, this is a confirmed gig, and how much are they paying? And she says, yes, $7,500. Now, again, she had never gotten booked, so she doesn't know about 50% up front, 50% later on, 7 days before the event. She used our contract template. She did all that great stuff. She's just made it happen. A couple weeks later, I got a speaking gig that I feel sure I never would have gotten if I weren't in your program. It's chock full of prime prospects. I would have done it for free, but instead I'm getting $3,500 Plus, she negotiated full-length HD video, plus personal introductions to people I target from their list, plus video testimonials. That's a huge win for me for something I would have normally done for free and probably wouldn't have even thought to try to get regardless. So let's do the math on that. From $0 to $11,000 in the span of 6 weeks. Why? She wasn't going to wait another day. She wasn't going to wait another week. She wasn't going to wait another month for the revenue to come in. It was game time for Susan Robertson. It was time to get paid. It was time to get serious. It was time to make this a business instead of a hobby. And she was weeks away, and she says this in our video case study that we have on our website. She was weeks away from throwing in the towel on this business and getting a job. And the last time I talked to her, she was working on a $425,000 multi-year consulting contract that she got with our advice, our guidance, using our strategies, tactics, tools, and mindset. So this can go from 0 to hero so fast your head's going to spin. Last couple points for you, then we'll dive into our Q&A and talk about next steps. Speaker is a skill set. It's not a job description. You are not in the speaking industry. You are in the you industry. All different distribution methods of you and your expertise. Your job title is CEO. You are the CEO of a speaking business. You're not a speaker. You're the CEO of a coaching business. You're not a coach. You're the CEO of a consulting business. You're not a consultant anymore. And your focus is MMA. MMA is money-making activity. Your guiding principle that will take you through all of this, I don't know what yours is. But you need one, and I will tell you what mine is. And this has been mine for about the last 15 years. Do work you love with those you love and for those you love. And if I ever violate any of those 3 parts, and I'm not having fun, I'm not loving the people on my team, and I love every single one of them. So Teresa, big smooches to you. Mwah, 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 mwah. If I don't love every one of our clients, and if I don't enjoy myself on a daily basis, that is my early warning system that I'm doing something wrong, something needs to pivot, something needs to change. I need a reboot or a redirect or some outside guidance. And I am a huge consumer of outside guidance, outside coaching, outside mentoring. I would be very, very careful, you guys, if you come across a coach or a mentor who does not, him or herself, believe in coaching and mentoring for themselves and investing the tune of many, many, many tens of thousands of dollars in their own coaching and mentorship and their own professional development. Which brings us to number 22. That you need to be coachable in front of your buyers. Let buyers help you connect what they need with what you do. And now more than ever, your buyers will help you and show you how you can add value. Don't pitch, listen. Listen, you're going to listen your way into way more sales than you will talk your way into. And then 5 things you can track as a quick dashboard for your success. How many conversations are you having every day? Not every week or month, every day. How many conversations are you having inviting people to a conversation how you can help them? How many connections are you making? How much valuable content are you putting out? What kind of conversions are you having from your sales conversations? And then look at the cash in your bank, my friends. When people say my business is doing okay, and they say, oh, but I'm down to my last couple pennies, your business is not doing okay. We call that a self-soothing delusion. Your cash flow needs to be healthy. Your lead flow needs to be healthy. Your calendar needs to be healthy and filled with premium clients paying premium fees. If not, Houston, we have a problem. So my final advice to you is, notice I've gone above and beyond here. We're way past 21 at this point. We're at 23. Get serious, get help, or get out. And in any endeavor, there's wannabes, newbies, gonna-bes, and ises. If you're not gonna be, then the problem is you drop off, right? Some people who are climbing this pyramid, they decide this is too hard, this is not for me, I'm not committed, I'm not decisive, I'm not ready, imposter syndrome takes over, and they quit. And that's unfortunate, because the real key to get to the top of the mountain is you being dedicated to always getting better. Always getting better. That's the helicopter. There's many paths up the mountain. Why take a path? You need the helicopter. So, some of you are serious and you want better results faster than you're getting them now. And we can help you if you're committed. Couple of conditions on this: you cannot be a dabbler, you cannot be a goofball, and you cannot be one of these wannabes that I just showed you on the pyramid. We work with gonna-bees and ises. Teresa, that's our new mantra. We work with gonna-bees and ises. Gonna-be and ises who are committed to getting better results faster. Here is how this works if you would like to take the next step with our help. You can keep going the old way, of course, the way you came out of this webinar. Old results, underbooked, underpaid, whatever that means to you in relative terms. Spinning your wheels, confused, sad, hitting some brick walls, not reaching that next level of success, just can't figure out the secret club password combination. No guidance, no accountability, no support. That's a hard, lonely road. And that was the first 3 years of my business, so I know exactly how hard and lonely that can be when you're falling into every possible trap on your own. Or that can all end today. So we can book a call, diagnostic deep dive strategy call with you to figure out what's really going on. Find the strategic gaps, help you refocus, reframe, reboot, all of the things we talked about today. We're going to look at what needs to be fixed when it comes to your messaging, your packaging, your positioning, your pricing, your marketing, and your sales. There may be blind spots. There may be gaps that you cannot see. Our team sees them. We see them every day, and we fix them every day. So we're going to fill in what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you deserve, finally earn the money that you started your entrepreneurial journey to earn, so that you're no longer just doing okay or treading water, so that you're doing great. You're doing great, you're having fun, you're living whatever your mantra happens to be. Mine is do work you love for those you love and with those you love. So here's how we can help. Our team and I have set aside some time to speak to you personally about how you can apply all of these ideas we talked about today to your business. This is a zero-cost call. We are waiving the fee on this call. The cost of this call is absolutely free when you go to doitmarketing.com/call. So we've already talked about some criteria, but I'll lay these out. Then we'll get to our Q&A and we'll answer all of your questions till the bitter end here. You need to be serious. We talked about that before. Serious, decisive, and committed to making your business profitable over the next 60 days. MMA every day. Put fresh targets on your radar daily. A day without a sale is a day without sunshine. A week without a sale is a week without oxygen. Your business cannot live without oxygen. This is true whether you've started speaking or you're a seasoned pro, and we've had success stories at every end of the spectrum and everywhere in between. Whether you feel you've got your niche or message nailed down or not, part of what we can help you diagnose on this call is your niching and messaging on point, or does it need some work? You can be in this full time. You can be planning your escape. We've had lots of great folks in a corporate job, and they make this happen because they know they have to dig their well before they're thirsty, and we become an integral part of their corporate escape plan, their corporate refugee program. You are willing to follow a proven process to ramp up revenue, and you take mentorship and direction well. We need you to be coachable, and you want to put an additional $10,000 or $20,000 in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days and build a predictable flow of clients and cash. If you're serious about those 6 things, our team is standing by. We've got some time over the next few days. When you go to doitmarketing.com/call, you can apply for a session. Just so you know what to expect, on the call, we are going to work with you to figure out exactly how to hit your income goals for the next 12 months and attract the exact clients that you want to work with. And just to reiterate, because some people get confused, we get emails about this all the time, these sessions that come off the webinars are free. We know that you might want our help to implement the plan that we create for you and transform your business. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about that and see if it's a good fit in both directions. If not, that's 100% okay too. Either way, it's going to be the most valuable 45 to 50 minutes that you're going to invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you finally get real results. So if you're interested in that rapid breakthrough, I recommend you follow that link, open up a tab, go to doitmarketing.com/call. You will get our calendar. You will get a prep form to complete so we can hit the ground running and make sure that we have all the information about your empire, where it is today, where you'd like it to be. Obviously, our time is limited over the next couple of days, so we'd like to squeeze you in if you're interested, if you're serious, if you're committed. And let's go to questions. We covered an awful lot of territory here. You may have questions about any of today's teaching, any of today's strategies, any of today's case studies or success stories that I showed you. Feel free to put those questions in the question box, and Teresa and I will knock those out one after the other until we outnumber you. And when we outnumber you, there's two of us and one of you, then we'll go home.
Then we're out of here. All right. Greg asks, is a TED Talk valuable? So this was in the context of the book and some of the other things that we think we have to do. And he's asking, is a TED Talk valuable?
So let me give you I'll give you the street level advice on this. Most meeting planners and conference producers, sophisticated buyers, understand that now a TED Talk, a TEDx talk is what we're talking about, of course. A TEDx talk is not hard to get. Is it easy to get? No, but it's not hard to get either. A lot of the problems with the TEDx format is that it's going to be a different talk than what you do as a paid professional speaker, or even as an expert who speaks at a conference or a convention, or 45-minute keynote, 75-minute breakout session. So a lot of times the coaching that you get during that TEDx process is going to tell you, be more emotional, be more heart-centered, tell your story. In the commercial world, guys, no one gives a rat's ass about your story. I am sorry. They don't care about your mom. They don't care about your brother. They don't care about your dog. They don't care that, none of that. So the disconnect is that unless you have a very tightly aligned TEDx talk, it's not going to help you with the professional speaking adventures that you're going to spend most of your time pursuing. Now, having said that, I'm going to give you some street level advice, which means advice from me and from our client base. We have had several clients that have TEDx talks. Their talk is not exactly what their keynote is about, but it's close enough and it's related enough where it has gotten them $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 bookings. So I would put it in the same category, Greg, as either the professionally published book or the hot and sexy sizzle reel. Nice to have if it's relevant, absolutely not a have to have. And you have to really engineer it so that it does become a relevant marketing resource, because the TEDx producers and the TEDx coaches that you get to work with, they will redirect you away from a content-based speech. And most of us are selling content-based speeches. I hope that helps.
I think that was a great answer. And hopefully Greg did too. So Annie wants to know, what were the 5 C's? Conversations, connections, what are the other 3?
You know what? Even though you're gonna get the slide deck, I'm gonna do you a solid, and we're gonna go back. We're gonna go right on back here. And it is, just so I don't misquote myself, I hate when that happens. There it is. Conversations, connections, content, conversions, meaning sales conversions from your conversations, and cash in the bank. Cash in the bank. Very important, Annie. If you want help with all of those, I would say let's get on a call and pop over to doitmarketing.com/call, and we can see where you are with those 5 C's and see how we can help you crank up the numbers for each of them.
All right. Art says, could the book have accelerated your success when you talked about you finally getting your book done? Could that have accelerated your success a little?
Well, let me give you another, this is kind of I feel like a consultant because every answer comes out, it depends. if I had done the book earlier, and listen to this very carefully, this goes against what 90% of speaker marketing gurus will tell you. If I had done the book earlier, the book would not have been as good. If I had done the book earlier, I would not have had the wealth of experiences, stories, principles, practices, methodology, training, and tools that I was able to put into the book. I'll give you another example of a person that you might know, much better known than me, of course. David Allen and his book, Getting Things Done. #1 mega best-selling productivity book of all time. He was doing 10 years of corporate time management and productivity seminars before he wrote that book. So that book came out in like 2003, 2004, something like that. He'd been doing big Fortune 500 trainings and seminars since 1994. So the reason that book is so awesome, the book is the culmination of his work as a speaker and as an expert. It's not the bare bones beginnings of it. So I could have written a junky book earlier. I don't think it would have helped me. And of course, you can't write the book that you can write after 10 years of experience when you're in year 1. So it's kind of a paradox. Would any book have helped me early on? In a very surface tangential level? But if the book isn't great, buyers aren't stupid. Buyers are not stupid. Readers aren't stupid. Your audience members aren't stupid. Some people, if you have a great speech, some people will buy a souvenir, and that's what Seth Godin calls them, right? Books are souvenirs. They're souvenirs of your speech. Oh, I had a great time at the speech. It was a great speech. They buy the book sight unseen. They don't even crack the cover. They just, I'm going to buy Greg's book. I'm going to buy Annie's book. I'm going to buy Matt's book because Matt did a great talk. None of what you talk about could be in that book. They'll still buy it. Now, when they read it, they'll be disappointed if it's a crappy book. So I would rather, just like with the video, I'd rather have no book until I can write a great book, and have no video until you put out a great video. Don't rush it just for having it, and then you have a piece of crap in your marketing toolkit.
Yeah, no one wants that in your toolkit.
Nobody wants crap in the toolkit, people.
No.
It smells, it stains, it's horrible. Horrible.
So Diana,
lots of fast-moving content today. What's the next question?
So Daryl has a question, which I'm going to also just tell you, Daryl, this is a great question for a little deeper dive on a call. So I would definitely recommend you book a call. But I'm going to run this by David as well, get his input. So he's asking, I'm a pastor. How has your program helped ministers who are doing a little more speaking or doing more speaking engagements?
Well, so there's two kinds of pastors, my friend. There's the kind of pastor that just wants to keep doing a few speaking engagements, and there's a couple of pastors that want to jump the track and that want to say, okay, I'm going to keep my ministry work over here, and that's great. It's not going to be my primary revenue generator as a speaker, but I'm going to use all of that experience, expertise, stories, background, and I'm going to convert that with a 5 or 10 or 15% shift into more of a business topic, corporate topic, nonprofit topic, healthcare topic, whatever niche you want to go into. So if you're willing to do that 5, 10, 15% pivot, I think we could have a very interesting conversation between you and the team when you book a call, like Teresa mentioned, at doitmarketing.com/call. If you just want to keep doing it as a side gig, I would say this is probably not the path to revenue. I'm just being brutally honest, right? Because here's the deal. When we talk to folks, we're going to help you out on the call no matter what. If there's a mutual interest in taking it further, we may invite you into the program, and we may not. So we turn people away unless we have a very strong feeling that they are going to have success in our mentorship. Part of that is about your business model. Part of that is about your service model. Part of that is about your revenue model and what you're building and how it works and how you're going to monetize it and what are the investable opportunities in your empire. And I'll tell you a couple of reasons that we might not invite you in. We might not invite you in if you have low goals. So we've got people say, man, I'd love to make $5,000 a month. It's like, well, if that's your ultimate goal, man, no disrespect, but go work at Starbucks. go put on the green apron and be a store manager. That's how to get 60K. Plus you get free benefits and tuition reimbursement. So as an entrepreneur, we believe you should be making doctor money. Doctor money, according to payscale.com, which is a big salary aggregator website, general practitioner average income is $186,600. So your goal for us to have a good relationship and for the journey to be worth the trip, why in the world wouldn't you want to be making doctor money, which is $186,600 a year? You guys do more good in the world than most doctors. You touch more people's lives. You have more of an impact. You have more transformational power on people's lives, businesses, jobs, careers, parenting, personal finances, leadership, sales, customer service, all of it. You deserve doctor money. You deserve doctor money. Our clients generate doctor money as an expert who speaks professionally. So if your goals are significantly lower than that, we're probably not going to take you on. So that's what I mean by the side gig is not going to generate significant revenue. Most side gigs don't.
All right. Thank you
What
for
else?
that.
Other questions? Anything else we can answer?
Yeah, Deanne has a question here quick. She says, can you talk a little bit more about you-centric marketing, number 13, what this might look like for a speaker? She's not sure how to implement number 13.
Oh my gosh. Well, it starts with the template I gave you. Is this you, right? Do you and your team struggle with? Is this a problem in your company? Imagine if you didn't have to deal with gossip, gab, and the grapevine at the water cooler. You. So here's the test, Deanne, and we have some fun with this sometimes when we do a speaker website critique. And we have to do one of those. I think we should do another. We did a speaker website critique on a speaker website challenge a few months ago. We should do that again. People submit their website and we kind of do a little makeover and slap you around. Count the number of times on your website that you see the words I, me, my, or your name. So on my website, it would be the words I, me, my, or David Newman, or David. Then count the number of times that you see the words you, your, audience, client, member, right? So your audience, your clients, your members, your employees, right? So count the you, your, and all those pronouns. Here's how to score it. A lot of people go, oh, it's no problem. It's like 5 to 4. For every I, you get dinged 5 points. For every you and your, you get 1 point. And now the yous still have to outnumber the score for the I's. And I will tell you, when you do this on most speakers' websites, most consultants, most authors, it's like 50 to 3. It's sad. It is just, so in other words, there's 10 times. 10 times is me, I, my. My passion is helping my clients and my audiences with the biggest problems that I solve. It's like, oh my God, are you kidding? Now, it's very easy to turn that around. So you say, are you wrestling, right? Are you and your team wrestling with this kind of problem in your department? In one sentence, I got 3 points. You, your team, wrestling with this problem in your department, right? Are your members really sick and tired of this happening at their companies, right? So you can use third-party language, you can use second-person language. The idea is that your value proposition is expressed in terms of your buyer, it's expressed in terms of your audience, and more specifically, it's expressed in terms of problems that you solve. So that's the quickest way that I can do the flip for you from me-centric to you-centric is count the number of you, your, and your name, and then count the number of, you, your, and client or audience, and then count the number of I, me, my, and your name. And that is how to do that.
And she says, thanks, got it. Thanks,
Awesome.
Deanne, for that question.
Fantastic.
David, that's it?
And I know, what? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, that's all we got. No more questions. It looks like we have answered everything.
We've answered every last question. We've outlasted everybody here. And there's still 70-some fantastic people hanging on to our every word. If you haven't yet booked a call, we don't know why, because that's what's on the screen. That's your next step, is let's see how we can help you. Now notice the what's the word? It's not synergy. It is it's eating our own dog food. That's synergy is a big fancy word. Eating our own dog food is, what did Teresa and I just do? We offered value, we invited engagement. We're simply inviting you to a conversation on how we can help you further. And like I said a couple of slides ago, some of you guys are serious. Some of you guys are ready to make a change. Some of you guys have been looking for exactly this kind of help. And let's have a conversation about how and if we can help you. If we can, we'll let you know. And if we can't, or we don't want to for the reasons I mentioned, we will let you know that too. And we'll let you down easy. We'll let you down easy. We're never mean. We're never harsh. When we turn someone away, we just say, you know what? It's not a no. It's a no for now. And because, like you guys, we cannot afford to have unsuccessful clients. We can't. That's not the business that we're in. The business that we're in is that we have massively successful clients. And if you fit the profile for that, and if you'd like our help, we'd love to have an exploratory conversation about where your business is, how to get it to where you want to be. If you'd like our help doing that, awesome. If you don't, awesome again. Not a problem either way. So that's what you get when you go to doitmarketing.com/call.
David, I have a couple extra minutes. I'm wondering if you do, because Terry has a quick question about video. Can we squeeze it in one last second?
Only for Terry.
Only for Terry? I mean, we're making a huge exception here.
Oh, you've been in orbit for a long time, my friend. It's time that we do some fabulous work together.
Yes, yes. So she says, if no great video material available, would a constructed video with narration using images versus actual speaking video be an option?
I'm going to give you a cryptic but smart sounding answer. It is an option. It is not a substitute. Dun, dun, dun.
I like that response.
Isn't that great? Man.
It is.
I must have gone to consulting school, because I can talk out of both sides of my mouth. Here's what that means. Should you do something like that? Could you? Of course you can. Would it be a good marketing asset? I think it would. Is it a substitute for that main speaker demo sizzle reel? No, it's not. So, like, for example, when we do videos for our clients, it's a combination of a couple of different things. It's absolutely stage time, and it's stage time in a big theater with big seats, and, they're really doing their content. Then we have a talking head kind of off to the side of the camera where they're talking about the value, the impact, the results, the outcomes that they generate with their clients, especially if they have other services besides speaking. So that's where they might talk about their coaching offer, they might talk about their consulting packages, they might talk about their training or their workshops that they do, and then we intermix those. And there's also some B-roll. So if you have some video, but it's not great video, that some video can be used as B-roll. So now you edit all of that together, right? And now you have the on-stage, the talking head, the B-roll, and it all seamlessly works together. And maybe there's some testimonials, and maybe there's some titles and graphics, maybe there's some PowerPoints that you use intermixed. And our team that does these videos is very conversant with the flow and the structure of how to put, the good video, the new video that we create with you, together with some not so ideal kind of B-roll, and make everything look awesome when taken together. And you can do that on your own too, of course. But I would book a call, Terry. I would still book a call, especially because you've got the last name of one of my favorite clients. So this is Terry Maurer, and Rick Maurer is on the call. He may still be on the call. I'm not sure if you guys are related in some way. It would be weird if you were, and I didn't know it, but you never know. So Rick and Terry, if you're somehow related, connected, brother, sister, spouses, ex-spouses. I hope it's not an ex-spouse, because I've just gotten in big trouble if it's an ex-spouse deal.
Quit digging, David. Quit digging.
I know. Quit while I'm ahead. I'm not good at it, my friend. I'm not good at it.
Greg, I can't wait to see you on the call. That's awesome. We've got the calendar is filling up. This is fantastic. We do have a few more openings yet this week. So those of you who are asking some of these deeper questions, that's definitely something we can tackle on a call. You know, all the advice we give, we try to give in context to your goals, your aspirations, what you want to do with your business. And sometimes we just don't have enough information to give you good sage advice. So book a call, doitmarketing.com/call. Let's have that conversation, get you the value that you're looking for, and see if it's a good fit and if it's of interest to do more. But definitely let's go deeper on some of these questions that are coming
Stephanie
across.
has a question that just popped in about honorary speaker questions. So what do you mean, like an honorarium, or can you type a little bit more about what you mean by honorary speaker question? What is your honorary speaker question? I'm happy to hang out and answer that one for you.
So the answer I gave her a moment ago was just honorary can also mean speaker of distinction, speaker of honor. It's the, you know, the keynote of a particular address. It doesn't always mean, and it sometimes doesn't mean free speaking. Honorarium, however, definitely connotates a volunteer or a no fee type of situation. So let's see if she gets us some more context. Conference asked me if I wanted to be an honorary speaker. That is all I know.
Got it. Okay. And then Daryl had a great question, which I know that my client and friend Doug Bowers asks or asked early on. Daryl's question is, how do you start a speaking business? Okay, well, again, that's kind of a deep dive question, Daryl. So if you want a little bit more of a diagnostic, personalized answer, I would book a call at doitmarketing.com/call. But let me outline it, because this is what we do, of course, every day with our clients, is that they're either starting or restarting, booting up or rebooting a speaking-driven business. So like with everything, let me preface my little 2-minute rant here. You got to walk before you run, before you fly. So the first thing I would do is focus on the strategy. There are so many speakers that just, they launch out of corporate, or they do what I did, which is fall out of corporate, fling themselves out of corporate. No strategy, no business model, no game plan. Not a recipe for success, Daryl. Not a recipe for success. So think of the strategy as the foundation. When you're building the foundation of a house, the foundation needs to be solid before you put up the walls, the bricks, the drywall, the roofing, the plumbing, the HVAC. If you build a house on no foundation, or a shaky foundation, or a slimy foundation, the whole thing is going to slip off the mountain into the lake. So you don't want to do that. It starts with about, I'm going to say, 7 to 10 days of strategic thinking and decision making, very much like going through the first, I'm going to say, the first 8 strategies we shared today, right? The defining, the deciding, the organizing, the what's your topic, what's your niche, where are you going to be a rock star, what are the distribution methods for your expertise that you want to operationalize. So you're going to answer all of those foundational questions for yourself. Then we're immediately going to focus on the buyers. We're going to focus on the buyers. We're going to focus on the audience and say, relative to what Daryl has to offer, what do buyers want? What do buyers need? What are buyers already spending money on? And that's going to be a listening campaign. That's going to be probably another couple of weeks of doing a competitive scan. That's going to be doing all of the work that we coach every single one of our clients through. Then you're going to have some articulation and some distinction work to do, like we talked about today again. And we're going to figure out what is the best way to position and package your offerings. What is the price point? What are going to be the investable opportunities in Daryl world, small, medium, large, and super size, that you can start to go out to the marketplace and start generating revenue for the quickest? Because this is about a go-to-market strategy. Either when you're booting up or you're rebooting. And we've had very successful speakers come in and they're pivoting markets, they're writing a new book, they have a new target market, their existing client base has retired, and they're looking to kind of reinvent their business. All of those are very similar to that same strategic foundation that a brand new speaker would need to build. You build that, and then step by step, piece by piece, all the other pieces click into place. If you don't do the strategy first, and I'll tell you, maybe you've experienced this, maybe that's why you're asking this question. Without a strategy, random tactics lead to random results. And you will be chasing your tail, burning through cash, lost, confused, and sad. Welcome to the first 3 years of my business when I started out. I was chasing my tail, lost, confused, and sad, and burning through a lot of cash. And part of the reason that I do this program, I do this work today now with this amazing team that we have, is I don't want other new speakers to be lost in the woods like I was lost in the woods and banging my head against the wall for 3 years completely unnecessarily. And so the guidance, the structure, the accountability, the mentoring, all of that is baked in to what we do with our clients. But again, let's not worry about that yet. Let's see if we can help you with some basic strategic decisions on a call when you go to doitmarketing.com/call. If we decide that this is something that you want to do, if you decide this is something that you want to do, we can discuss options. And if not, that's cool too.
Great questions.
Yeah.
Covered a lot of ground today.
We did. This was one of the more massive content webinars that we've done. We're going to have to write a book about this at some point.
That sounds like a great idea, David.
I know.
Well, as always, looking forward to speaking with each and every one of you that's booked calls. We will make sure we follow up and give you the best value we know how to give and send you on your way or invite you in. Let's see what happens.
Fantastic. All right, team. And Teresa, thank you as always. Everybody, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.